Hi guys, this is The Ordinary Man, Step by Step, episode 28. Just driving to work on this lovely Friday morning, the short week. So just again, a very, very quick one for anybody who hasn't listened into the podcast before. So what this basically is, my name is Tommy Courtney. My I suppose aim, my role in this podcast is really to document the process of what I'm doing to try and convert an idea that I had a while back now, and try and convert that into a successful business. So this is me documenting that process in all its gory details to give you guys an insight of what's involved, basically. So the company is called Property Basecamp. What we do is we connect relocating business professionals with the best and most suitable available rental accommodation. At the minute we are just based in Dublin, hoping to expand in the near future. So that's really it in a nutshell. That's what the podcast is. That's what the company does. The last podcast I've done, I think, was the start of the week. The reason why I've gone down the podcast route rather than the video blogs and things like that is, number one, not hugely comfortable in front of the camera, not exactly photogenic, and podcasts are just so much quicker. Whenever you've got a small setup, you can literally just take out the phone, talk for 10 minutes and publish. Whereas with your video blogs and even written blogs, you have to sit down and it's a lot of time, a lot of effort. And to be quite frank, I think podcasts are going to explode in the near future. So we'll hopefully be on that crest of a wave. So that's a bit of a sidetrack. But anyway, so from the start of the week, so it's been a short week here in Dublin. Don't particularly like short weeks. Bank holiday Monday. Then it's very difficult to get in contact with people you want to get in contact with, both prospective clients and current clients and even partners, as well. And as well, we're probably in the midst of the summer season now, so a lot of people out of office, spending some time with the family and their kids, etc. So yeah, I wouldn't be a big fan of the short weeks, but we're coming to the end of it now. We haven't been quiet, although a lot of people are off. We haven't been quiet. We've seen I suppose we're bringing on extra clients, and that's obviously brought on extra a spike in our usage of the app. So it's been very, very interesting, just I suppose listening and seeing the support inquiries coming in from the different users. It really gives you an eye opening of what of where you can improve your value proposition and your processes in general. There's a lot of stuff, I suppose, that's popping up that I knew would pop up. There's nothing really that surprised me. I suppose that's good. That's good in a way, but in another way, I suppose you're looking at these sort of things and you want to see further gaps. Now we have seen gaps and things that we do need to improve on, which is fine. But I suppose I look at that as a positive, that everything that's sort of popped up over the last number of while then from our users and questions and that, they're stuff that I'd sort of foreseen. So that's pretty good, I suppose. Mixed results. I suppose we've had some great feedback from users and from management, and then other things where we do need to improve. A lot of stuff, because of our business model, is outside of our control in a way, even though we offer it as a property Basecamp offering, because we've partnered up with a lot of the major property agencies. I suppose it's the weakness in our model is that their customer service, to name one thing, is out of our control. I'm not saying it's very bad, but again, it's just stressful times for people searching for accommodation. So, and just the volume of people searching it makes it difficult for the customer service standards to stay very, very high. So that's something we'll be working on. hopefully over the coming days, weeks and months with our partners. So that's been pretty interesting. What else have we been up to? Yeah, we are making slight changes, I suppose, in the model, and basically how we go about providing that accommodation to our clients and our users. That gives us a little bit more of that control. Can't talk an awful lot about that at the minute, but we're really still in the fact-finding sort of stage of what we're trying to do there. Talking to property developers, talking to landlords and agencies and different things like that. So insurance companies. So there's a lot of moving parts there, but basically it's very exciting what we're hoping to do, and it'll provide us with, it will only strengthen our value proposition for the coming months and years ahead. So that's been great. What else have I been up to? As I said, pretty light on the meeting side this week. However, I did meet with an MD of a property agency based here in Dublin. Now they do focus more so on finance recruitment. No real agenda for the meeting. It was just a bit of a meet and greet and do introductions and have a bit of a chat with her around current business volume, if she's seeing any differences or any more uptake in finance roles with Brexit on the horizon. Her thoughts on Brexit, her thoughts on the impact that the shortage of rental accommodation is having on the industry. It's very, very interesting, actually. Basically, an article broke yesterday in most of the major outlets. So John Kennedy broke it in Silicon Republic, and Charlie Taylor broke it in the Irish Times. And it was basically an article where they interviewed the co-founder of Prosperity, which is a recruitment agency called Chris Mullen, who basically shone a spotlight on the impact that the accommodation is having on the ability for businesses here to service their clients. Prosperity did a survey, and I think 40% of all respondents, these were companies, were relocating people from abroad to fill technical roles here because of the shortage of local talent. Now, I know from collaborating with a company, that number was up to 90%. So then 90% of their hires were from abroad from the start of the year. It's a huge amount, and this is something I suppose that I've been kicking and screaming about, of the impact of this. I think there's a far-reaching impact long term with this portion of the housing industry, because if we can't service these companies, i.e. provide their employees with accommodation, there's only a certain amount they can do. They're going to start throwing in employees into properties together, which I suppose is okay. Throw is probably a bit of a harsh word, but they're doing that already anyway, I know that much. Or they're going to start to look at having services elsewhere where the price of living isn't as expensive, and there is a more availability of stock. Or they're going to start buying up properties, which again is going to increase the property prices. Or they might possibly look at regional towns in Ireland, but again, it's very tough to attract and retain the talent when you go to regional towns. And I think it's just because we're not marketing it right, to be brutally honest. So there needs to be a whole bigger piece and bigger discussion there, but it's going to get really interesting. And I suppose that from my side, we need to pick up our marketing on that, and looking at and basically pushing our service more, because that is what the solution we are providing is exactly for these types of companies, technology, finance companies, who are relocating heavily, and who need accommodation for their employees, and that's really what our whole product is. So we're probably stretched thin a little bit from the marketing resources. And trying to balance everything. So that's why I suppose, which is good, that we have an open position for a Biz Dev / marketing role, to get somebody else on board to I suppose we know who we want to attract. We have a fair idea of where their attention lies, and it's all a matter now of just getting something out there in the ether that's creative, because I think the creative is the difference between, especially in the industry that we're in, the property industry, which is, to be quite frank and to be honest, it's a long way behind other industries in regards to how they market their services, the tools and technologies that they use. So we're going to be starting to hopefully push that a little bit more once we get more resources available to us, which is great. So that's another part of it. So just on that, it's great that they actually broke that story and shone that spotlight. So I reached out actually to the guys yesterday, to the journalists, and to Chris himself to say thank you, basically, because the more light that can be shone on that particular sector, the better in my eyes. I honestly think it's we're trying to market ourselves as this European version of Silicon Valley, and it's getting harder, and the lid's about to be flown open, I think. So interesting times ahead, but I guess it's our job now to market our services and to get our name out there and explain how we can solve for this, basically, and our future plans, which are very, very exciting, how we're going to solve for it in the long term. So that's going to be the plan there. It's a bit of a rant. What else have we been up to? We've had the job up now for 10 days or so, and we were starting to I suppose go through the short list and we'll be making contact with people now today and over the weekend about who's been successful and who hasn't been successful. I've read every single applicant and every single applicant's CV, and I've been blown away by the interest, which is another interesting thing about the market. Like we've been smashed with interest, so it's been brilliant, obviously, and looking at it, I think we're going to have some really, really, really strong candidates, which is exciting. So yeah, that'll be great. Hopefully we'll be setting up meetings and interviews for next week and the week after. What else? Yeah, that's I suppose pretty much it. Today I'll be keeping an eye again just on the support sort of stuff coming through, to see what that looks like. Also going to spend some time looking at this sort of new part of our business that's going to solidify our value proposition and how we're going to go about that. Again, I wish I could speak more about it, but it affects other stakeholders in other ways that I can't really speak too much about, but spending some time on that. I've got a huge to-do list at the minute, so I just use a personal Kanban board where I've got a huge list there of to-dos, but obviously you can't get through them all. I try to only have 3 to-dos in play at any one time, because otherwise that just gets unmanageable. So I've been putting stuff off for a while now, just because of priority. So I have the weekend clear now to work through, which is great. And there's lots of little bits and pieces that I want to get to. So I'm going to start organising them today. Like, for example, we're going to be hosting a HR breakfast where we're going to bring together it's just going to be basically small roundtable breakfast events, where we're going to bring people from HR and finance and possibly the ADA to discuss I suppose the concerns around accommodation, what companies are currently doing to mitigate that risk, and then obviously if there's anything that we can do to help facilitate that. It's a tough time of year to be trying to organise because a lot of people are on leave, I know, but I'm going to start making some decisions there. Also, the PopTech events, I host the PopTech events here in Dublin. It's been pushed for a while now because just of how busy we are with the business itself. So I'm definitely going to be organising that at the weekend, looking at dates, looking at possible agenda items. Agenda items is strong. I don't do real structured events. I fucking hate them. So these are always going to be casual events for me, and it's more about the people at them rather than listening to people up on stage talking. So just need to have a think about how we're going to go about that. Got a couple of really good ideas. We've got a venue sorted, I think, again, so that's great. Lots of other little things that we need to sort out. Contracts for the lads. I need to sort out. We've got a substantial amount of government funding through in the last couple of weeks, so I need to secure that and get that drawn down so we can start to pour that into the business. I need to do that. What else? I think that's pretty much it. I suppose, again, probably just marketing this podcast a little bit more. So lots of little bits and pieces that I'm going to be doing. And I'm looking for other founders so to come on to our 7 Days With segment. So we ran this. The last one was with Chris Lynch from Dwell Down. So this is basically when we bring on another founder of a company and let them basically talk about their business and where the idea came from. And basically the 7 Days With is all about in detail explaining to the listeners of what you've done in the last 7 days to move your business forward. So really, really practical, detailed sort of stuff. Obviously, you don't need to tell us who the individuals are that you're talking about, but just, I suppose, the tactics and strategies that you use that people who are founders or new founders really, that's the key information. It's all right being very, very high level and explaining at a high level what you've done in the past and what you're doing, but we want the gory, juicy details of how you're going about doing that. So yeah, any founders who we want to come on, I've got a couple of people that I have in mind that I'm going to reach out to see what they think, and that's pretty much it, to be honest. So again, thanks very much for listening, guys. If you do have any questions or anything, questions, concerns, feedback, positive or negative, you can get me on tom.courtney, that's COURTNEY, at propertybasecamp.ie, or you can find me on Facebook, The Ordinary Man, Instagram, The Ordinary Man, Tommy C15 on Twitter, and yeah, any of your feedback or comments are greatly appreciated. So thanks again, guys. Have a lovely, lovely, lovely weekend. Enjoy yourselves and take it easy.